Okay, Supervisor Wambolt and Supervisor Berg are both excused this evening. We will move on to citizen comments. Please state your name and address for the record. You'll have 5 minutes to speak.
My name is Christine Reardon. I live at 1112 58th Street. County Supervisors, Madam Chairwoman, Executive Cruiser, thank you for allowing me to speak. This past April, Supervisor Hallman brought a resolution to the Executive Committee of the County Board condemning racism and discrimination within our community. The resolution set out to be a statement of solidarity of opinion, holding the board to no further action beyond its passage. The board proved unwilling to take even this small step, and it died in committee. That was the day I decided to leave in Kenosha. I do not want my future tied to a community that shows so little regard for my experience or the experiences of my friends and neighbors. However, I will be here another 4 years. I know some of you, and I know you to be people of goodwill. Today, I am here to make you aware of what you are turning a blind eye to and to give you a chance to convince me that this community supports diversity. I am part of a mixed race family. We see more sides of racism than most people. During the fall semester, my daughter was verbally assaulted on her way to school by strangers, yelling at her to go back to Mexico. You see, perception is more important than reality to racists, and the perpetrators believed she was Mexican. I am not upset by the misperception. I am upset that any child, regardless of background, can be harassed by adults who don't even know them while they are walking to school. I don't understand why the county board doesn't see the need to speak out against this kind of behavior. This has been happening across our country for a long time now. Last month, 2 men in Portland, Oregon were murdered. They were standing up for 2 women suffering an assault similar to my daughter's. Kenosha is not immune to the sickness sweeping our nation. While walking along the lakefront, my son, who is light-skinned and blue-eyed, was approached by men who tried to recruit him into a Klan-affiliated militia. After a period of decline, hate group membership is on the rise again, and they feel emboldened to approach our children on our streets and in our parks. As the elected representatives of this community, your silence contributes to their empowerment. We all know the saying, the only thing needed for evil to win is for good people to do nothing. I believe you to be good people. I urge you to reconsider Supervisor Holman's resolution and to cease your silence in the face of the racism that is increasingly prevalent within Kenosha. My fellow Kenoshans, I ask you to stand with me in asking our county board why they are indifferent to racism in our community, especially Kimberly Brunig, Daniel Esposito, Terry Rose, Michael Gable, Aaron Decker, Leah Blau, Dennis Elverman, and Boyd Frederick, the members of the executive committee who chose not to bring the resolution before the entire county board. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? Citizen comments? Any other citizen comments? Seeing none, I'll close citizen comments. I have one announcement. We have a youth and governance. Alexander Dawson from Public Works is here tonight to join us for his first county board meeting. And that's all I have. So I will go ahead and open it up to supervisor reports. Supervisor Elverman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I will keep it as brief as possible. I told Supervisor Gens I had 4 pages here, and he threatened to leave. So we have a very busy committee. Alexander was at his first committee meeting last night at we met at the Pringle Nature Center last evening. Well, I'll start with parks. It's very busy. Petrifying Springs, we have the beer garden. We had a barn demo that we needed to do. We put it out on a website, and someone bought it for $6. So it was going to cost us 20 grand to take this barn down. Somebody's got, and they have to take the barn down. Reforestation for emerald ash borer begins in the fall with 317 trees in Petrifying Springs. Summer programs, Supervisor Grady dropped off on everyone's desk just what is happening in our parks in the month of June. This is just June, so I wasn't going to read all that, and I wouldn't let Matt read it last night, but this is how far we've gone in the programs and the volunteerism, and I mean, it's spread across all the parks. It's fantastic. Fox River Park, speaking of volunteerism, the Vail Resorts, which purchased Wilmot Mountain, is bringing 100 of their people to Fox River Park in the fall to work on projects that we designate for a weekend in the fall. Silver Lake Park, the beach now has canoe rentals and paddleboard rentals. That's just a brief bit on what's happening in the parks. The golf division, we have a different story. Fantastic course reviews and fantastic, beautiful greens, beautiful everything, but the weekends and the golf season have been horrible. Anyone that's been outside knows what happened. And so we are behind. We've always been poised, and we're poised to catch back up, and as I said, the golf courses have never been in nicer shape. I'll briefly hit a couple of the items that we're working on with facilities. I have talked about the main generator at the public safety building. I've talked about this for 2 years, and it was put in place on the 24th of May. End of June, we're going to be shutting things down and switching things over. Second floor public safety building, that's a huge project. The beginning thing was the interior demolition of the fleet maintenance building. That's what we need to get done first to move other people in. Fourth branch of the courtroom remodel, I reported that our low bidder had failed to hit target dates for us. We are working with the second bidder, which is still within our budget for this year. And our main roof replacement project of the year was completed at the county center. Highways, there's a lot of stuff going on. At H, Bain Station Road roundabout, the County E Bridge, people that live in that area are very aware of the major construction there. County W, a main thoroughfare from people from the south to Highway 50 in Wheatland is under construction. Highway 45, a huge project under construction, and 165 is still not complete in Pleasant Prairie. Also, the second phase of construction on Brookside has begun. Started the week after we did our move on the 17th. That move was done in 8 hours by employees and volunteers, and everyone said it just went off without a hitch. So now the new construction began on the remodeling of the old section. So, brief rundown. Everybody take a look at that June schedule for the parks and just see what a terrific job our department there is doing, and Mr. Collins specifically. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Overman. Supervisor Grady, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to follow up on your June list here, it doesn't end there. Put down in your planners, if you are so inclined, August 5th, there will be an anniversary celebration at Petrifying Springs. There'll be more information forthcoming, but it will be a regular wingding with bands and jugglers and amusements and all types of things going on. So stay tuned for that, and we'll report back to you shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Grady. Supervisor Boyd Frederick, you have the floor.
Thank you. Just due to vacations and other things, the June meeting for Legislative Committee will be canceled, and we will take the resolutions up in July.
Thank you, Supervisor Frederick. Supervisor Retzlaff, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just briefly wanted to bring up the Human Services Committee, and Mike and I just discussed this. He said I can speak on their behalf. We met at the new Crisis Prevention Center, which was the old Gateway Mortgage Company on 60th Street. I think we can all, as a, you know, when you think about things we've done, this is one that we can really be proud of that this board did. I know that people like Jeff Gentz and back when Anita Johnson and some others on the committee, myself, were very concerned about this issue, and the county took it to heart and did something about it, and it's really going to help out in so many ways with crisis prevention with mental health. So all of us should be proud of that building. It'll be opened in January. We should all take a tour when it's opened. And again, we should all pat ourselves on the back for doing something very special for this community. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Supervisor Retzlaff. Supervisor Blau, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to make a few announcements in light of the Bike to Work Week resolution that's on the agenda tonight. I want to have everyone bring their attention to the bike up at the front. This is on display on behalf of Carol and Brian Boehm, who are with the Kenosha Bicycle Ambassadors. This is a bike that was remodeled by Brian, who used to be a bike mechanic for the old Don Gill, if any of you remember that from many years ago. And it'll be on display downstairs in the reception area there by the treasurer's office. Bike to Work Week is coming up weeks actually, from June 11th through the 24th, and we are encouraging everybody in the county to ride their bike to work. And you register your ride online, and you have the opportunity to win prizes. And some of the donors are Andrea's Gifts, Ski and Sports Chalet, the Bike Shop, Jockey International, and more. So if you have any questions, contact the county executive's office for more information, 653-2600. Also, we have at the Washington Park Velodrome, which is actually now open, June 12th is the first Monday of stock bike racing, and June 13th is the Mayor's Cup race. Food Folks and Spokes is back. This year it'll be earlier on June 15th, and it'll be the first stage of the Tour of America's Dairyland bike races. So I encourage everybody to go. It's a really fun event. The Dairy Breakfast Ride, sponsored by the county executive, will be held on Saturday, June 17th. And if you have information about that, contact the county executive office for details on how to sign up. Also, the Kenosha Civic Veterans Parade, we are encouraging people to ride their bikes. We are going to be in the first group going in front of all the floats and fire trucks, so decorate your bike and join us in the parade. And that will be, I think, I forget when July 2nd, sorry. Okay, and then finally, at the end of the summer will be the third ride across Wisconsin, which will start in, I believe, Dubuque, Iowa, and will go all the way across the state and end up here in Kenosha. And the riders will finally get the opportunity to circle around the velodrome now that it is open. It draws hundreds of bike riders to Kenosha. It's a really fun event, and I encourage you to go to that. And then lastly, on September 30th in the fall, the county will be sponsoring the Fall Wheel Ride from Simmons Island to Petrifying Springs Park, and we'll give you more details on that when it comes. So please consider exploring Kenosha County on two wheels. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Blau. Supervisor Gentz, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through the chair to Supervisor Alverman, I just wondered if you could give us a quick update on E, how that's progressing, and also with the reforestation of the beetles. Do we have all the trees down?
What was the first question?
The first one is, how is the reconstruction of that bridge on E going?
Oh, it's on schedule.
Okay.
Totally on schedule, and it is.
I like to take that road, so it's purely selfish that I'm asking.
Right.
Like, well, when are we looking at to get that done?
Well, let me put my glasses back on here.
Okay.
Most of the main frame of the bridge has been constructed. The contractor is currently erecting the parapet and prepping for concrete work for the approach. The project is scheduled to be completed by August.
Thank you.
The, excuse me, As far as the emerald ash borer, in all the county parks, there was some ash trees that weren't addressed. They weren't addressed because they were in the middle of the forest or off the beaten path, where they wouldn't harm anyone. Fox River Park, there's some that are down along the river that are in the middle of the woods in the slough. They're going to, on their own, deteriorate and go over. Any tree that was in a public area in the parks has been addressed and removed.
Thank you. I am briefly talk about item number 7, because I don't know how fast it'll fly through and whether I'll get to talk on it. Mark Midori has served on the Joint Services Board for a number of years now, and both the executive and the mayor get to talk about, or get to alternate choosing somebody for that independent position. I'm just going to tell you that Mr. Midori has done a great job. He's very impartial, reads his material, and attends every meeting. So I just wanted to throw that out there for you, wherever it gets referred to or whoever votes on it. So thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Gens. Seeing no other lights, we will close supervisor reports. Judiciary law.
Ready? County executive appointments, Mark Midori to serve on the Kenosha Joint Service Board. Mark Midori to serve on the Kenosha Joint Services Board.
Refer to Judiciary and Law.
8, Scott Schultz to serve as the Director of the Kenosha County Division of Land Information.
Oh, and I wanted to mention, number 7 also goes to Finance and Administration. Oh, this one goes to, number 8 goes to Finance and Administration. Okay.
Are we ready?
Yep.
You need to refer Scott.
I just did, Finance and Administration.
New Business Resolution 1, Reading 14, from Supervisor Blau and Public Works Facilities Committee, a resolution recognizing Bike to Work Week.
Supervisor Alverman, you have the floor.
I move Resolution 14.
I have a first by Supervisor Alverman and a second by Supervisor Blau. Supervisor Blau.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Like I said earlier, Bike to Work Weeks actually is running from June 11th through the 24th. I encourage everybody, again, to ride your bike to work, to the store. If you register your rides online on the county website, you will have the opportunity to win prizes, get yourself fit, and enjoy the weather. Thank you.
Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Claims, Janet I. Nold, personal injury.
Refer to Corporation Council.
Dale A. Hatch, vehicle damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
Approval of the May 16, 2017 minutes by Supervisor Decker.
I did want to note that the submitted by it is not the county clerk's current or new name. I don't know if she wanted to change that. Other than that, motion to approve the minutes.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Skalitsky. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes have been approved. Motion to adjourn? I have a first by Supervisor Dodge and a second by Supervisor Gens. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you.